Hey guys, I'm Vicky Ratnani, a chef, a restaurateur and even a cookbook author. I love food. I love to cook and have fun with my food. People say restaurant food is fancy, but my cooking is simple. No fuss, only flavor. And that's what I'm going to show all you guys who have rocking parties but don't know what to feed your buddies. So be a football fever night at home, a day to remember, or even a birthday surprise for your BFF. Let's get together and just cook, eat and party! Budgets, 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 and we are budge out with them. Nothing wrong with that. At the end of the month, we are left with like not very deep pockets, lots of bits and bobs in the fridge, but not to worry. I'm going to show you a fabulous recipe using whatever's there inside there, and none of your friends will ever even know that you are actually living on a budget. First recipe, my pasta baked home style. Eggplants, mushrooms, peppers, a couple of chilies, garlic, onions, and I have got some macaroni which I've actually cooked in boiling salted water. So let's start with my baked pasta home style. For the sauce, some olive oil. Once the olive oil gets hot, I'm going to start off with sweating off some onions, followed by some garlic and some finely chopped chilies. Chili is chopped. Now let's start with the onions. Sweat off the onions for less than a minute, into which I'm going to be adding my chopped green chilies and some minced garlic. Whenever you're cooking with 3 or 4 different kinds of vegetables, you got to make sure that you start in the right way. For example, I've got some eggplants, I've got some peppers, I've got some spinach, and I've got some mushrooms. Now looking at how the vegetables cook, I would start by using the eggplant first. Once you saute the eggplant for a couple of minutes, it's time to add the button mushrooms. Brilliant. Eggplants, mushrooms, onions, garlic, chilies. What's next? Bell peppers. Oh yes. Colors, flavors, textures. Wow, amazing. Does that look like budget? I don't think so. We have some spinach which has been chopped up, which I'm going to be adding next, followed by some tomato puree. So spinach is in. Beautiful. There's nothing better than the smell of good food. Oh yes. And when you saute your vegetables, very, very important that you saute them very well. Otherwise, it's going to taste like boiled food, like hospital food. And definitely, we don't belong anywhere close to that hospital. Oh yes. Fabulous. Next, some tomato puree. Oh yes. Now at this point, I would season it with a little bit of salt and pepper. And some pepper. Give it a little mix now. Oh yes. Next, I have a little bit of cream. Ideally for pastas, we primarily use mozzarella cheese, we use parmesan cheese, we use gorgonzola cheese. All the possible Italian cheeses would go in a really nice pasta. But I have some cheddar cheese in my fridge and I have some Swiss cheese in my fridge which was left from the last week. Small bits and bobs in there which I think will go perfectly with this pasta. The cream has added another dimension to this sauce. It's nice and rich. Now I'm going to add a little bit of cheese into this. And then some cooked macaroni. We're going to grate half the cheese into the sauce and I'm going to reserve the other half just before baking. थोड़ा सा cheddar भी डाल देंगे इसमें, a little bit of nice yellow cheddar cheese. Easily available and especially Indian palate, very used to cheddar. In fact, the first cheese which was available in our country was a cheddar variety and it is the most popular cheese today. I'm going to mix the cheeses in, nice and yummy. The cheese has mixed in beautifully, nicely melted, swimming inside the sauce. Added a beautiful texture and consistency. Now it's time to add the baked pasta into the sauce. I'm not going to actually waste this cream which I have here. I'm going to be using it in this, okay? Remember, it's the end of the month. Beautiful. And now some freshly chopped parsley. Beautiful. It's time to get a nice baking tray for this. And now put this into the tray. A nice, homely, one-pot meal for you, buddy. Nicely flatten it out before I hit the cheese onto it. Now some mozzarella to grate. And some cheddar too. I'm not going to use all of this, just a little bit. A little bit of breadcrumbs on the top. And then just a little bit of olive oil drizzle. Yes. I think now it's time to bake. So now into the oven for about 15 to 18 to 20 minutes at about 160 to 180 degrees. Bingo! I smell something good. It must have been 15 minutes now. I knew it. I knew it was the pasta. Oh yes. Oh, divine. Beautiful crust on the top and nice and gooey and cheesy and creamy. This is my baked pasta home style. And I think it's the best way to cook, eat and party with a budget. Finally, the pomegranate mustard vinaigrette.